I am reviewing a resume of a full stack developer. I am a corporate recruiter. So, this person has previously submitted their resume, and this is their second iteration of it. And there is something interesting I found here. So I want to be clear. I am a United States-based recruiter. I specialize in IT. But I don't know everybody else's market. And sometimes different countries and geographies can have different qualifications. So I re-looked at the list for full stack, and specifically for Canada, this does not apply in the United States, a lot of them are going to want Java, Spring, Spring Boot, or C# .NET Core. Again, this is not relevant for the United States, but for Canada, these were actually the most popular things, which I did not know. So formatting wise, I think last time the other this resume's bullet points were solid, but they were solid based on the United States. So this is an updated list. And I did want to say, even with a phenomenal resume, apparently the job market in Canada for full stack devs is awful, especially for entry level. I found like barely any. So good resumes can help, but I wish that, they're not a full panacea. So let's review this resume and see if it has with it. What if it has what it needs? So Java, Spring, Spring Boot, or C# .NET Core. We're looking for TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Weirdly enough, less so on the Python and TypeScript, more so on the JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Node, Angular, Next.js, SQL, React.js, API REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, and cross-functional. I don't think the cross-functional is needed in Canada. Again, different markets require a little bit of different stuff. Also, I get these keywords before every review I do. I do them on my stream. You can join me. I stream live and offer job help on at 11 a.m. PST for free on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter.com. And that is about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST. So let's see if they have this. First off, Atom Smasher is a villain, but their formatting is off, but it's not off by a terrible amount. So this is what I think ideal and peak resume formatting is. It is boring, which is what you want. This is not that, but again, it's still relatively okay and kind of easy to read, so I'm not going to harp too much on the formatting. This should be one line. There doesn't need to be these lines between it. And this, I think this should all be the same font, which is 10.5 Arial, which I'm not sure if it is. But again, those are relatively minor issues. So let's see what we can do to help, because this person is not getting really any interviews. So, Architect developed in Angular, which is good, RESTful API, and Flask and Python while utilizing Stavron for the front end. Okay, so again, that's solid. With this updated list, I don't know if that's as much as we want. In addition, I don't know if you really want to put quantitative on this one. Again, that might just confuse them, but develop bonus trading algorithms using Python, C++, and Java. Good. Leveraging quantitative models in TensorFlow. So here's kind of the issues. I don't think for full stack, a lot of them were looking for this. Even in the highly experienced ones, they were looking for this. So we actually do want to focus on this a little bit more, which is different from the last review because, again, I didn't double check specifically the Canadian market, which was an error on my part. Utilize modern, including the development of CIC with Jenkins, Git control, that's good. Agile, collaborative, cross-functional, and manage MongoDB. This is solid. Again, we can. I don't know if cross-functional is as important. It's still okay to have though. And automated exchange risk using Python scripts and Docker. So these are not terrible. What I really would like is we need a little bit more of this. Again, this was a new one to me, and this is why the Canadian market is different. We want a little bit more of this if we can, and I think that would be okay, but I am missing cloud. We need to put in cloud. Oh, here it is in the second one. So it's possible they may not get this far down, but I hope they do. And the reason we do want is I see cloud all the way here. The most important part of your resume is the first half. And it's possible, although not super likely, that they may not get to this part get to this part. So we want the cloud to be up here. Weirdly enough, I think we may want to reduce one of these bullet points. Focus on the cloud up here. And then this is good on MySQL, so we want to keep the SQL and then add cloud to the first one. And then React Tailwind, that's fine. And then, yeah, so overall, first off, Canadian market, awful. especially for entry level. Almost every job I saw wanted people with like 8+ years. But we do want more of either of these. Again, most of them wanted Java, but some of them wanted C#. This is specifically a Canadian market thing, not a United States market. And then I need to make sure cloud is earlier and we fix the formatting, and you should have better luck. But based on what I saw, it's still going to be very brutal. So I hope this review was helpful. I know it was not as ideal as it could have been, but you know, sometimes you can do everything right and it still can fail. My job here is to help you fix what you can control. And unfortunately, it's not everything in the process. So if anybody else needs their resume reviewed, submit it through the link below. That's also where the link to my Twitch is. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a project manager. So before I begin on this, I wanted to add for the last video is the person in the last video was in chat while I was doing that review, and apparently their contact information was incorrect. So when I said the most important part of your resume is the first half, that's only technically true. That is the second most important part of your resume. The first part and the most important part forever for every industry is making sure your phone number, your email, and your profile links are correct. 1000% that is the most important part. It doesn't matter how good your resume is if I cannot actually contact you. And as a recruiter, while it is not common, I have seen it a lot of candidates that had phenomenal resumes, but their phone number led directly to a voicemail and that voicemail was full. So before you send stuff in, make sure that you actually have a friend call and email you and make sure it goes through correctly. Because, oof, that is the biggest thing, which apparently happened on the last one. In addition, this person has said, this is their second review. They have redid their resume and created more resumes tailored specifically for each role that I want to apply for. So I want to make sure this is known. When you are changing your resume, do not do it for every role. If you try and change your resume for every single role, you will fail based on how ATSs actually sort you. What you want to do is find a couple of job titles you want and tweak and redo your resume for those job titles specifically, which I realize I may not have been covering as much here. So you 1000% should not redo your resume for every job. That actually leads to failure based on how ATSs work. You should 1000% pick like 3 job titles and base it on those job titles and use those to mass apply. So that is, I just want to make sure I say that because that is very important. And let's begin this resume review of this project manager who has a 1 in 50, which is not good. So what we're going to be looking for is how you made things happen compared to how you did things. So again, this is a management thing, which is you kind of need to show how you did your work more so than the actual work itself. I need to know the results and how you got it done. A PMP/CSM is phenomenal if you have it, not required, but it's a huge bonus. Customers, stakeholders, agile, industry, number of team members in a matrix or cross-functional, number of budgets, projects, and that you've multitask, how you used resources for success, and how you solved or influenced problems. So let's begin. So formatting wise, there's a couple of errors. This is not huge. There should be there's a little teeny space between this that's not here, and there should be a little teeny space between here, and yeah, that's how you want a teeny space between each of these. So there should be a space between, oh gosh, this is going to show these two. There should be a space between these two. There should be a space between these two. If it goes over a page, that's fine. Again, as long as the first half of your page is good, we're good. So, led cross-functional teams deliver client projects on time and within scope, utilizing project management methodology. Okay, so again, this is you are telling me you did this, I need you to show me. Showing your work is what I need to know. Now, I know this is a overall, this is a summary sentence, which is good, but I would like to say, led X cross-functional teams to deliver Y client projects on time and within scope, utilizing, and then instead of this utilizing project management methodologies, saying, which were all to client satisfaction on a budget of X and Y. Develop comprehensive project plans with clear deliverables, milestone, and resource allocation strategies based on stakeholders' requirement. Such as, this is like the math problem where they're like, hey, you need to show your work. Specific ICs and individual contributors don't really need to do that as much. They need to do how they did it and why, but like you could just say like, used Excel, which is a keyword, to create documentations for X. Here, I need to know the details. The devil is in the details, which is a saying people say, and it is important for management. Implemented risk management protocol that it proactively, such as what? You need to tell me examples. Led communication between stakeholders, the status meetings, and detailed strategy reports, which resulted in what? The how and why are almost more important than the what in the case of a project management. So this is why you're not getting any real interviews. Is it's too vague. So led the development, implementation, Human compression algorithm, reducing data storage. Okay, I don't really care. Again, here, this is just tech stuff, which is not really what they were looking for. So yeah, this is my biggest issue, is this is going to be where the bulk of your stuff is, and you need to tell me how and why. Like, directed office operations and supervised a team of 7 staff members, establishing clear KPI. Like, again, I need to know how and why you did this. So there's not enough detail for me to move forward, because there are managers that will be like, hey, I want this person here because they managed a team of a similar size. I don't know what size your team is. I don't know what budget is. I don't know what you did. In fact, I don't even know what type of industry this is. This just said led cross-functionally to deliver client projects on time. I don't know if you're in IT. I don't know if you're in medical. I don't know what you are. So you need to give me the details. Again, you need to fix the formatting, but that's like a minor issue. This is still not a great resume. It's better, I think, than the last one, but I need those details. The devil is in the details for this. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a front-end developer. So this person has 100-to-1. So I also had to kind of redo this video, so this is the second time I've looked at this. So here's the issues with this resume. Their formatting is off, and their bullet points are bad. I would say it's like a D- on each aspect. This is not a garbage resume that needs to be destroyed. There's a couple of key flaws that are holding them back. So the first flaw in formatting is it's not this. Please use this. The second one is their education needs to be at the top. I don't know why everybody fights me on this one. Education should be at the top. Apparently, this is the most controversial opinion I've ever had, but education should be at the top for almost every single resume, even if you graduated 4 or 5 years ago. It is a qualification, and qualifications need to be in the top half of the resume. So then what you need is a very quick summary that just says switching back to software development from X. Then this should not be bolded. Again, please make it look like this. And this is the key thing where it starts to get a little bit weird. So this is not a related experience, but you are there for a long time. So what you do, and you can use this to show that you're at a company, is this should be no longer than 3 lines max. So this will be 1 line, is the company where you were and how long you were there. And then I want a single bullet point, just one, that says something to the effect of helped customers or guided customers and clients through X and Y to good reviews or whatever. All this is going to show is that you're able to stick at a company for a while, that you can talk to people, and you're not going to freak out on the clients. And then we move on to the actual experience. Here, this doesn't count, but I need it here. I need you to show me how and why you use this, okay? I need you to show me what did you use it for. I don't know. Like, contribute to the full development lifecycle by using TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Okay? Stuff like that. Because this doesn't count. You can't just have a little section. I originally tried this, and then the more I thought about it, the more I realized this would not work. Then you actually have an okay bullet point here, but yeah, I need these in here. So to summarize, the reason this is a 1 in 100 resume and it fails is it's a D- resume all around. Again, it's not like the worst I've ever seen. I don't want people to think like, oh my gosh, this is it's not a good resume, and it will take you a little bit to fix it, but your formatting is not helping you, and your actual bullet points are almost good, but not good. So I just need you to put in this stuff here, okay? And by the way, sorry, this is the second time I had to review this, so because I had a glitch with the previous video. So what we're looking for is JavaScript, React, AngularJS, HTML, CSS, PHP, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful APIs, SEO, WordPress, Git, Docker, Jira, Vue, Next, and a bonus, not required but nice, is any extra languages, Cloud, UI, UX, SASS, and TypeScript. They need to be in bullet points, and you need to show me how and why you use them. If you don't, it doesn't count. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a software developer, a full stack software dev. Thank you so much for giving me that. So now I know what you are. These are going to be the keywords. Again, the keywords earlier were Canadian. These are specifically United States based, which I was very weird, but that's why where you're located really does matter in searching for a job. So what we're going to be looking for in a full stack in the United States is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functional, and bonus points are going to be architecture, extra languages, and Git. So this is where you could put like Java or C++ or Python. Well, I mean, Python's already up there, but the others. So this person has a ratio of 150 to 1, which ain't good, so I'm expecting this resume to be bad. Probably more in the bullet points than the formatting, because again, if I had the choice of better bullet points or better formatting, you will always want to do bullet points. Bullet points are the main course of your resume. Those need to be fantastic. So let's see what's wrong with this resume. At current employer as a full stack, okay, spearheaded, reducing cycle time till care. So you don't need a professional summary. Professional summaries are really only needed if there's something critically wrong in your resume or you're switching industries. As a real life example, there was somebody that had a master's of wind turbine degree. I don't know what the degree was, but it was like a wind turbine degree, and this was for a entry-level position. The manager would not see them. I tried to convince the manager. I said, hey, they did not apply to this job by accident. They probably won it. The manager said, nope, I think it's an accident, and I could not convince him. That person unfortunately had to get rejected. So if you have a master's of wind turbine, then you would want to put in a professional summary of switching to X job title from wind turbine, so they know. You do not need one. Also, you don't even hear. Oh, also you're in Canada, so you do actually have to add. Here I see. So you are in Vancouver, which I think is British Columbia. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. So this is the U.S. keywords. The Canadian ones are the first one. All right. So again, I don't care about this section. You have wasted the first half of your resume, and that is not good. Where's your education? Education should be at the top. This needs to be at the top, okay? I know everybody fights me on that. It needs to be at the top. In addition, your resume needs to look like this. So the formatting is way awful. You've wasted a lot of space. Let's see if you have any keywords here. Lead in the design development of an internal Blazor server application for ETL. ETL is not necessarily a keyword they're going to be using for full stack. It is one for machine learning, I think, or DevOps. It's been a bit. It's in one of my other keyword lists, but not this. SaaS product, don't care. CI/CD, there's one. ETL, I don't care. C+, again, that's a bonus, but I need the other stuff. Yeah, nothing here. Okay, so here's probably why. Here's why you're having 150 to 1. This entire section, everything highlighted, I have found a singular keyword I want, and that is CI/CD, which is a minor keyword compared to the others. You cannot have a skills section. They do not count, except for high-level managers, because those are very different. And you are not a high-level manager. You need to show me how you used it, and you need to see what it is, how you used it, and why you used it, and it needs to be here. There is nothing in this resume I could use to move you forward. I would send you forward, and the manager would be like, no, I need to know how and why they used it. You've listed, in addition, like everything here. So yeah, the formatting is bad and the actual bullet points are bad, which is what I was sort of expecting. You need to redo this resume. The last two resumes, while not good, could still like redo that. There's nothing here I want. I don't think any of these bullet points, like you could say led the design and development of a server using X and Y, but I don't know what a Blazor server is. I don't think I've ever seen that in the job description. I don't think I've had a manager ever say, Lee, find me someone with a Blazor server. So yeah, there's nothing here. You need to find out what they want, and what they want for full stack is this, if you're in the United States, not this. And again, skill sections don't count. Let's go to the next resume. This is another full stack software engineer. We had a lot of them, and a front-end dev. So what we're looking for is the same as last time. I don't know if I really need to repeat it, so it's above. This person has a unknown. We don't know. They said that this is a redo, so I've reviewed their resume before, and apparently it really helped them a lot. They didn't tell me how much it helped, but they said it helped, so good. Last resume they sent, the formatting was off. You changed up the spacing. It is now 10.5 Arial. Perfect. This is perfect. Should all be 10.5 Arial. That is the best format. Fight me. And let's see what we're looking for. So your formatting is a little bit off. Again, this is going to take you like 5 minutes to fix. Stop putting lines here. I don't know why there's always lines here. Don't put lines there. In addition, there's a little teeny space here, and well, there's too big of a space here, but there should also be a space between these. And then there should be one space between here, and then you can move into that, and then there should be a space between here again. So again, you don't need to fit it all on one page. It's irrelevant. The number of pages a resume should be doesn't matter. I know that sounds weird. I know people say you need it 1 page, you need it 2 page. All that matters is you have all the stuff in the first half. All right, that's specifically why the education should be there, which it is good, is in the first half of the resume. What you can see on screen is the most important part. Everything else is gravy. I need to stop using food metaphors when I'm hungry. So we need a space between these. But again, the formatting is going to take you like 5 minutes. So conducted manual tool assistant audit to gather crucial data by clients. Integration with cloud platforms like Snowflake. Okay. Get control, beautiful soup, data cleaning, gather valid points, CVS data sets. Okay, so your order is off. In the order that I care about TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and Node, arguably more than the other stuff. So I think what you can do is condense some of these, enhance Python script efficiency, agile, in an agile setting by implementing a script resulting in a features reduction. Okay, so these are okay. You need to switch up some of these keywords. So what I want to see is what you did here, right? Like conducted manual and tool auditing using Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML in an agile environment to gather crucial data used by clients, which allowed them to integrate with our cloud platform. Okay. Also, if the cloud is not AWS, GCP, or Azure, you probably shouldn't mention it unless you're going for specifically a cloud role. Most of them are not going to know what Snowflake is, but it's, cloud, you could say like Azure, Snowflake, or whatever, or put it in a different sentence. Then we can have GitHub, that's fine, but I still need a little bit of SQL. We have, this should be higher up, RESTful API should be higher up, so that should be probably your second one. Again, there needs to be a space between these. And let's see. Extension parts, I'll try tickets using Jira. This one's okay, actually. I like this. Again, there should be a space. Projects. And then these are okay. So yeah, your formatting is mostly good. It's just the order that we need to switch around. We need to condense some of these sentences into one. So that, not all of them, obviously. Like this should be like 3 bullet points, 4 bullet points. You have 4, maybe 3, and combine them into use more of this stuff. And then probably this should really only be 1 line where you can use CI/CD and Jira, because the rest of it isn't as needed. And then you can go into your projects, full stack, Django based, Python, SQL, JavaScript. Yeah, this one's solid. It's just they may not get to it. So again, I think this could pass. I think this is like a C-, maybe. If the market wasn't so competitive, this would be a lot better, but it's really, really brutal right now in IT. So make those changes, fix up the formatting a little bit, condense the bullet points, and make this a 2-liner, 3-liner max. And yeah, I think that's good. And then again, switch around, because the order of this is, this stuff is the most important. This stuff, this is good, and then like this. So again, don't bold them in your actual resume, but they should be ordered up top. That's the goal. So, thank you all for joining me on this video. I hope you all liked it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really does help me out. If you need more help, join my Twitch live stream at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter at 11 a.m. PST till about 2 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll see you all in the next video. Catchphrase out.